on, everybody? This is Chris Classic dropping a car vlog. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. If nobody tells you that God love you, Christ love you, and I love you as well, I'm praying that you guys and gals have a wonderful day, as I'm definitely trying to push through everything that is going on. Subscribe to the Take It Home podcast, where I talk about professional wrestling topics, and I put up my matches as Classic Alpha, a professional wrestler of 13 years. It's actually 14, so as of this month. So, I would usually be more of a cheer, but everything that happened at the end of Big Business, I'm just trying to press on. Make sure you look at the matches that are online of myself, Classic Alpha. I just put up myself versus Johnny Blasphemy from Backbreaker Wrestling in my debut. Also, the wrestling topics. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling. It is still C3 Ultimate Wrestling. I don't care that the board or the matriarch put their logo over C3. It's still C3. That is me and my wife's professional wrestling company. We have a lot of our matches from previous shows. What I'm hearing, Big Business, the opener will be uploaded later today. So make sure you subscribe to look at what happened. Also get tickets to 20, which will be the 20th show back in Dyer, Indiana, Harold's private venue. Tickets are on sale now on Eventbrite. $5 off. There'll be $5 more at the door. What's going on? I watched Elimination Chamber despite everything going on, and I wanted to speak about it real quick. Elimination Chamber was okay. It was some good moments, then it was some iff moments, and then it was like, what was y'all thinking? The women's Elimination Chamber match was decent. It was nice. Raquel showing that she should be in the main event. WWE showing that they're not going to put her in the main event. The two eliminations she had with Kiana and Asuka, that should have said something, because Asuka is definitely an OG in the game and stuff. Some of the moves were good. I did feel like it was a little short. I felt that it was a little short. It was good. This is a quick review, so I'm not going to go into every detail. Jade is lurking in the rafters like Sting. She's not. She was in the crowd. But still, Rhea Ripley, she eliminated Tiffany last, and she will go against Jade at WrestleMania. I'm expecting a good match. Never seen it before. Hint, WWE, like this is something that we haven't seen before. Obviously, I wish that Bianca was good, because I would have projected that Bianca and Jay would have faced each other at WrestleMania for a title. But it's not what's happening. Bianca's still recovering and stuff like that. Pray for her. Rhea being a known powerhouse against Jade, who's also a powerhouse. I think the promos can be very, very interesting, what they're doing certain things. I kind of don't like how they're doing Jade now. I mean, Jade still hasn't wrestled that much. And then, last week or the week before last, she's flinching when Michin is, throwing a kendo stick at her. And it's just that's not a good look for a tall champion and a strong champion. And to me, it's not a good look. But still, I am curious to see what's going to happen. And I think it'll be a good match. I think they'll lead up to something good. Second match was AJ Lee versus Bianca. AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. It's too many B's, B. They kept touting that AJ's hometown was Chicago, but a lot of us knew that she was from New Jersey, and I'm glad that the announcer said she's from Union City, New Jersey, because if you're from Chicago, and I'm not from Chicago, but Chicago don't play about Chicago, so it's like, if you're a wrestling fan, you know that she's not from Chicago, but she is not. So it was like, to me, the fans love AJ Lee. She came out, she spoke about mental health and coming back. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that mental health is like a soft spot for a lot of people, but I'm also saying that at the same time, people is going to love her regardless because of what she has done in the Divas revolution of wrestling. So she didn't even have to say that she was from Chicago. But her hometown, her adopted hometown, it's like, y'all can stop. Y'all don't need to. Against Becky. Now, I knew that this match wasn't going to be a wrestling clinic for two reasons. Becky's character work is more important than her actual wrestling skills. And AJ, she's been wrestling for a few months and stuff like that. but still, I thought even back then she was she was a decent wrestler. I thought she was always a decent wrestler. It was her character that people liked. She was smaller. She didn't look blonde. She didn't have the enhancements and stuff like that. And her small pipe bomb that she had against the women, the Divas Revolution, like people loved her and stuff. And a lot of women were watching it because of her. And that's nothing to take away from her, but like wrestling skill, you know, I think at one point in wrestling when women started doing like a lot of submission maneuvers, people just was like, oh, she's a great wrestler because she has a submission maneuver. I don't want to say AJ is in that realm because AJ, it's her character, man. It's her character, and she's also relatable. Lafayette in the building. What's going on, Robert Brown? But still, it was a character. The match itself was pretty good. I did feel like AJ Lee selling was sort of like Shawn Michaels at Hulk Hogan SummerSlam 2000s. I did feel like it a little bit. I know that Becky was trying to do the manhandle slam, and you know, I felt like AJ tried to jump too late, and then she like threw her legs out. They had a referee bump with Jessica because, you know, Becky says that Jessica is trying to screw her over. Winds up AJ launches Becky into the exposed turnbuckle, give her the octopus hold, and then that was it. The Black Widow, whatever she calls it, I don't even know what she calls it. And AJ is the new Intercontinental Champion. Like I said, it was a decent match. It was nice. The crowd loved it. The crowd was gonna love it regardless if they said she was from Chicago or not. You say you changed your handle? Oh, it's good. It's good. You good, bro? But still, I thought it was a decent match. Like I said, I don't think this does anything for that Intercontinental title. Like when people be like the title make the man, I understand that, but also with this, you know, these are two veterans, right? These are two women that are going to be into the Hall of Fame, and I don't think that they per se needed this title. I thought it would have helped like a younger person because when I was younger, the Intercontinental title used to help people elevate to the main event or somebody that was an upstart. These two women had the main titles a couple times and stuff like that. Sometimes you can go from a main eventer to a secondary title, but I don't think this really helps or nothing because they don't need the elevation. They could have had AJ. They could have had AJ face main eventer or whatever like that, but I guess. So, 1 second, y'all. Had to get gas before I'll be on a longer car vlog live with y'all. It wasn't that. It was okay. To me, it could have definitely been a little bit better, but it wasn't the worst thing. Like, I don't think it's going to be on a list of worst PLEs of all time. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't that special. I felt they kind of pivoted with a lot of stuff. So, the Black Widow, okay. But still, it was okay. What was it? Was the reveal before or after CM Punk's Finn's match? We'll talk about CM Punk and Finn's match. The match was decent. We just knew that CM Punk was going to win. And that's the bad part. It's like maybe if y'all gave Finn like a non-title win against CM Punk to go against him at Elimination Chamber, maybe. But WWE does a running thing where it's just like, we're just going to have you guys feud and then one person's not going to win a match. Like, you can have a champion lose a non-title match. Like, I promise you, it's going to be okay. Look at me. I promise you, it's going to be okay if a champion loses a non-title match. Like, at least give the luster. Like, to me, one of the things that people said about Elimination Chamber that was right was that for the most part, that match was predictable. And it honestly was. It was very, very predictable. We knew that Punk wasn't going to lose, especially in Chicago. Especially when they had the Bulls intro, I was like, oh, he really not going to lose. So still, just because it's a good match and all of that stuff, sometimes you can make stuff seem like, you know, y'all are going to pivot and change some stuff. Like, it's definitely possible to do that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah, I guess it's definitely possible. Y'all could have did something like give him a win on Raw or something. It wasn't like it was in the number one contenders match. CM Punk wanted to face him. That's just what it was. He just wanted to face him. So, like I said, solid match. CM Punk got busted open. CM Punk was tired. Roman Reigns spoke about him being tired, which was funny. At the end, Finn reached to shake his hand, and Punk shaked his hand. So, like a lot of people are assuming that Finn is going to probably go against Dom for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, which would be cool. But like I said, it's just like, to go from this title and go to the Intercontinental title and Finn, cool. People love Finn. I think if you get a belt to Finn, it'll be okay. I know it's a secondary title and all of that stuff, but I don't think it's going to elevate Finn to obviously be in the main event status. Solid match, very predictable. WWE does this loophole. Excuse me. Does this loophole of like somebody feuding and somebody's always winning the matches. Like, it would have been just a little bit more creative. A little bit more creative if Finn would have won like a non-title match or a tag match or something. To my knowledge, I didn't see them do a tag match, but still. Randy Orton won the Elimination Chamber. How did they hear Randy Orton? Smart. Yeah, Finn Balor might lead a Judgment Day. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the Randy thing. The crate that's been on WWE television for a while, it finally got opened by Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. They opened it, and then when they opened it, they just walked away. So I was like, I would have thought that if it was something very, very important, they would have just stayed to see what it was, because everybody was curious about it. So the coffin opens, there's women coming out, and they have Danhausen face paint. Some people know who he is, some people don't. This was a dud, unfortunately. Dudhausen. Now, I have nothing against Danhausen or nothing like that. I don't have nothing, I'm not a big fan of his moveset. That's the only thing I'll say about him. I don't know much of it. AEW loved him. The fans loved him. The WWE crowd just had a big reaction. And I think it's a mix of stuff. I don't think it was the fact that it was just Danhausen. I do think that people was expecting people like Jericho or a Return or Big Legend or somebody knew that they liked or somebody on the internet or something. And I think it was Danhausen. And I think that WWE, they put him in the wrong spot. They put him in the wrong segment, and they put him in the wrong place of Chicago. Because as soon as that pyro went off, when he pointed, it was boo. It was like, what in the world is this? This is definitely some Vince McMahon stuff. You are definitely your daddy's son, Paul. Like, this is about as bad as that Fabergé egg that Vince had, or the gobbledygooker and stuff like that. Like, people literally was excited to see who it was. And like I said, how y'all did Danhausen was like bad, because this definitely would have been better on NXT when I was talking to my homies. If it was on NXT or maybe a smaller platform, this is something that probably would have been gold. Now, hopefully people who know him will buy his shirt and it sells out and stuff like that, because they're saying internally people were upset with their reaction. But you got to be mad at yourself, because y'all did this, and y'all shouldn't have did that. Y'all shouldn't have did that to Danhausen or whatever like that, especially during the road to WrestleMania and stuff like that. This is not something that, like, you could have did. Like I said, I do think that Triple H thought that a lot of people who are WWE fans are AEW fans. Or they know AEW, and some people probably was like, who are you? So it is unfortunate that that kind of situation happened for Danhausen. But of course, people can recover. Real quick, because I did show it to work. Elimination Chamber for the men. Long story short, highlights of it. Randy Orton won. Seth Rollins returned. There was another masked guy, but security got him. But then Seth came in and took out Logan. Logan took out a couple people. I missed some of it because I was checking on my cinnamon rolls. Don't y'all judge me. I was waiting for them cinnamon rolls. Pulverizer by Logan Paul to Javon looked scary. LA Knight slipped on the ropes, went on the wrong side of the pod. LA Knight just looked like he just there to get a check at this point. Drew came, attacked Cody. And when Drew tried to beat up Cody some more, Randy gave him an RKO, and then Cody gave him a crossroads, and then Randy Orton gave him an RKO. So now Randy Orton will go against Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Some people said they pivoted because they thought that people would probably boo Cody, and people love Randy. People do love Randy, even though the fact that Randy and Drew have faced each other so many times for titles and non-titles. But we'll see. I think people love Randy, and we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't go into a triple threat or anything like that, because I ain't trying to see no more triple threats. Like, WWE has outdone each other with triple threats at WrestleMania at this point. I think the last few ones has always had a triple threat for a title. But still, like I said, it was okay. But what do you guys think of it? Let me know. Curious to see how they're gonna do this Drew and Randy angle. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.